In today's video, let's talk all about the medical logbook niche, the potential income that can be made, and what kind of logbooks you can create to tap into this great niche. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Caroline and I make videos to help you master your mindset and make money online so that you can build a life you love. If you do enjoy watching videos like this, please take a moment to subscribe. It is free, it takes only a second to do, and it really means the world to me. And don't forget to click the bell so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. Creating logbooks in the medical niche, it's a really great niche to look into because these books are really important for those people who have medical conditions that require monitoring. These kind of logbooks aren't the kind that people buy and maybe use here and there and then just forget all about it and never use it again. These type of logbooks can be critically important for people to record important information about their medical health or any medical conditions that they have. They're required to use them usually on a daily basis and also usually for long ongoing periods of time, which gives a really great potential for repeat purchases when they have filled up one logbook and then need to start filling out another one. Sometimes people have to take a particular medication or multiple medications at specific times throughout the day, and if they don't note when they last took it or how much they took, they can make mistakes with their medication, so it's really important to keep note of it. And so that's where a good medication logbook comes in, or some sort of medical logbook related to whatever health condition that they're monitoring. Some people have a medical condition or an illness where they have to take checks every day or multiple times a day and need to keep note of those checks. The first one that just pops into my mind is a blood pressure logbook. This kind of logbook is very important to someone with a health condition that needs to be monitored. And then there are people who just like to keep a check on their general health and well-being, and maybe they just want to keep notes each day of how they're feeling or what their temperature is or things like that, and really just keep an eye on their health. So what we'll do is we'll go through and drill down into some of the sub-niches available under this larger niche of medical logbooks and see what's available, and we'll see what's selling on Amazon. Let's see if they're selling well and whether any of these sub-niches have potential. First of all, let's start by taking a quick look at BookBolt to see if anything comes up here and see if we can get any ideas of what sub-niches there are. BookBolt is a low content specific tool that helps with niche research into low content books such as notebooks, journals, logbooks, and things like that. So the first thing I like to do is go down to this cloud feature where you can basically just search by the bestsellers and you can select however many bestsellers you want to look at. And then here we can just select what type of book we're looking at creating. So in this case, a logbook. If you want to adjust the BSR range according to whatever it is that you create books within, you can go ahead and do that. If you do want to put keywords in, you can do that. I usually don't. I'm just going to search for logbooks. Now, obviously this is going to bring up other logbooks, but generally medical related logbooks are quite popular. So I'm just going to have a quick look first of all to see if anything comes up that I hadn't thought of before in terms of a type of medical condition that needs to be monitored or something like that. So straight away one comes up there, a diabetic diary, daily glucose monitoring logbook. And if you don't have BookBolt, it just gives you some information pulled from Amazon. So it gives you the price, reviews and ratings, the BSR, estimated monthly sales, and the estimated or the average BSR for the past 30 days. So you can get an idea of how well the books are performing. So what you can do is just go through, and if you see anything within the niche that you're looking at, just note it down so then you can look at it a little bit more in depth on Amazon. So I'll just note down diabetic logbook to look into a bit further. And there's a blood pressure logbook there. That one's going with the theme of swearing. Seems to be really popular at the moment. Any kind of book, put a swear word on it and it sells. Just keep in mind, if you do put swear words on your cover, you can't use Amazon ads. Amazon advertising does not allow swearing on the cover. There's another diabetes logbook, estimated to be selling around 206 copies per month. And I'm not going to go through too many. In the real world, when doing proper niche research, when I'm not filming a video, I'll spend a lot more time on it. But obviously for the sake of time on the video, I'm not going to go through hundreds of different books, but that just gives you an idea of how I sometimes start off doing niche research. Something else we can also look at is products. And it can be a bit hard using this one when you don't really know exactly what you're looking for, but it's worth just popping in a keyword related possibly to what you're looking for and see if anything comes up. Medical, it's brought up blood pressure logbook, a temperature logbook, although that's a little bit confusing. They're sort of promoting it as a medical logbook, but then saying it's a logbook for the temperature on a refrigerator. That one's a bit confusing. There's another blood pressure and blood sugar logbook. So I'm just taking notes on some of these as keywords to search in Amazon. So there's a temperature logbook for people. So I guess that's sort of becoming popular with COVID, where a lot of places take your temperature. There's another temperature logbook, blood pressure logbook, a caregiver daily log. So if you're someone who does care for people who have medical conditions, that's a good idea to log whatever it is you're tracking for them. There's a keep an eye on glucose, blood pressure logbook. Another temperature logbook. Again, another confusing one, medical or fridge. I just don't understand how they go together. Lots of dogs and pets logbooks there, so you don't have to focus on just people with medical conditions. It seems quite popular to record your pets' medical conditions as well. And so you get the idea. And even if you do have a specific niche in mind, you can always just pop that keyword at the top there and search for that one and see what kind of books are available on Amazon at the moment and how well they're selling and things like that. Something else that I sometimes do is I basically just go to Google and do a little bit of a Google search on some kind of keyword that's going to be related to the logbooks that I'm looking at. So in this case, all I have in my mind is medical related logbooks, and I want to see what kind of medical related logbooks are available, and you can get different results when you use different search tools. So searching on Google is going to give us some different results as what we just saw in BookBolt, and as you can see, although it's pulling up the AU results first because I'm in Australia, it does show a lot of Amazon results at the top of the search listings, and so we can get an idea of some of the popular books within the medical niche, and it might give us some sub niches to look into. So we've got a personal health record keeper and logbook. That seems like it's just a general kind of logbook to just monitor your daily health. My personal medical logbook, health record keeper, and then we can look at other websites too. We're not just looking for Amazon. We'll give medical advice for tacos, medical healthcare journal and history logbook, a child health record logbook. So that's something else we can note down. If you have kids, you know they are always getting sick, especially when they start going to school. So that could be a popular sub niche. We've got the blood pressure tracker, clinical examination and procedural skills. That seems a little bit more professional, possibly. A cannabis review logbook. It is becoming mainstream using cannabis for medical conditions. So that is a niche that could be looked into. Blood pressure and blood sugar logbook again. So sometimes you can pick up a couple of extra niches to look into by just doing a Google search, even going to the shopping tab and seeing what books are for sale. Because there are other retailers that sell low content books. It's not just exclusive to Amazon. You can look on other retailer websites as part of your niche research too, and you might come across things that you may not necessarily come across on Amazon as well. So, you know, don't be afraid to get creative and look at a whole range of different places. Even going to just local bookstores in your area, you'll pick up ideas for niches that you would have never thought of or come across before. And once you have collected some notes on some sub niches that have possible potential in Amazon, now we can go into Amazon and start diving into these sub niches a little bit better. You can always start off with a very broad niche search if you want, just to see what comes up. I'm just going to do a quick search for medical log, not even logbook. I just want to see what comes up under medical log. So it's bringing up some personal health record keepers, Erin Condren medical treatment planner. Erin Condren is probably the brand name. A vital signs logbook, perfect for tracking weight, blood pressure and oxygen saturation. Also, when I do my niche research, I don't just specifically look for KDP books. I look for every kind of book. I don't care who the publisher is when I'm doing niche research, because it doesn't matter. That's your competition regardless of who publishes the book. So just look at everything. Just because this book isn't published by KDP doesn't mean you can't create a book the same published by KDP. So even though that one is published by KDP, I'm just trying to make a point. Just look at everything. Don't worry about who the publisher is. Don't look at these books that are spiral bound. Even though we can't make them spiral bound, you can still make a book similar to that through KDP without the spiral. It doesn't mean you can't include these types of books in your niche research. So there's one of those caregiver daily logbooks, a patient journal or a medical patient experience journal, medical surgical procedure journal or logbook, logbook, blood pressure logbook, cat health, daily medication. So that's those ones for people who need to take medication daily and multiple times a day, and it's very important that they make sure that they take the correct amounts. Temperature logbooks coming up again. A diet reminder, so food and fitness journal, so that's still health related. Diabetes, glucose, chronic pain journal. And so you get the idea. You would be taking notes on each of these, ones that you want to look into further as you're going through them. That's basically where we now start looking into each sub niche. So let's look for the Diabetic Logbooks. Okay, so we've got just over 1,000 results, which is not too bad. And we've got this blood sugar logbook, a weekly blood sugar diary. Has a really great BSR, 27,164. Has a really good reviews, published in 2019. We'll take a look inside. So we just have a emergency contact and personal detail page, some notes, and then that's the log. And so the book will be mainly made up of this page. And so they look like they have 1 week per day where they can record what they eat. So a pretty simple interior. If we look down here at customers also viewed, you get other books similar in the same kind of niche, and you can also see what their BSR is and how well that one's selling. So 36,099, so pretty good as well. So what we can do is we can take this BSR, 27,164, pop it into the TCK Publishing Amazon book sales calculator. Now, this calculator isn't accurate in terms of, we don't really know how many books that person is selling, but it kind of gives us an idea of how much they could possibly be making on a monthly basis on this particular book. So it's got 110 pages, selling for $6.99. Let's pull up the Amazon KDP royalty calculator to work out how much the royalties is on this particular book. 110 pages. And this is new, guys. I don't know if you guys use the KDP royalty calculator very often. I do. And the last time I checked, which would have been in the last week or two, it was an Excel spreadsheet that you had to download from their website. And they've now got this beta version of it on their website. This is awesome. Let's have a look. This book is making an estimated royalty of $2.02. I get a lot of comments on my videos of people saying that you can't make $2 royalty, and whenever I use the $2 royalty in my videos, I'm always told that I'm wrong, that these books will never make $2. There is a perfect example. It's a 110 page book selling for $6.99, and so they are making a $2 royalty on every book that sells. According to the sales calculator, they could be selling around about 160 books per month. 160 books per month at $2.02. That's $323, guys, on a really simple logbook. It's got a really simple cover, and the interior is pretty simple and just duplicated page after page after page. Now, when I do see a book that is doing quite well, I like to look at the author page and see what other books that they have, because quite often they have other books that are pretty popular too. So it seems like they do have mostly books in the medical logbook niche. They've got a blood sugar and blood pressure logbook, another great BSR, 64,579. 64,579. So I'm imagining all their books are the same in terms of how big they are and things like that. So the royalty is probably $2 across most of their books. $2 royalty at 72 books per month. That's another $145 per month that they're potentially making. That one's got quite a high BSR. It seems like they've only got those two that are doing fairly decently. But that's, you know, $145 on one book, $323 on another book. That's almost $500 a month that they're making just from these two simple medical logbooks. So let's take a look at a different type of logbook. Let's go to the blood pressure logbook. Now you can go with logbook, logbook with a space, logbook without a space, or just log. This drop down here is an expanded list of keywords that people on Amazon are searching for, what customers are searching for. So you can look at all of them because you're going to get different results for all the different types of keywords people use. So again, good results. There's just over 1,000 results for blood pressure log, so not a massive amount of competition. And the first one that pops up here by Sapphire Mountain Press, 51,096 as their BSR, so that's pretty good. This particular book has 60 pages. That is pretty small for a low content book, to be honest, and it's selling for $798. Sorry, that would be selling for $7.98. So $7.98 for a 60-page book. So they're making a $2.64 royalty on this particular book. That BSR, what was that again? So 51,096. So they could be selling around 90 books per month with that BSR. 90 times $2.64. So they're making approximately $237, so almost $240 per month on that one particular book. We'll take a look inside of it. It's a very simple, just a plain text-based cover. Got a very professional looking interior. It's got some information about checking blood pressure, a sample on how to fill out the logbook, and then we can't actually see the rest of the pages, unfortunately, but I'm imagining the rest of the book is just this, obviously without that filled in, so it's blank for the customer to fill in. But let's take a look at their author page and let's see what other books they have. They may be similar, where they've just got lots of logbooks within the medical niche. So they do. That one's in a different language. They've got another blood pressure logbook. That seems to be the best one that they've got so far though. That one that we looked at is bringing them in a good couple $100 a month just from one book. So here's another one with a really good BSR. It's got the bestseller badge as well, so 20,310. So with that BSR, it's estimated that they're selling 205 books per month. This one was only uploaded a year ago, less than a year ago, in 2020. Again, another 60-page book. 60 pages selling for $6.95. So this is probably closer to $2 royalties. Yeah, so $2 royalty. So $2.02 royalty, selling 205 copies a month. That's just under $415 a month on this one particular book. And again, it's probably got a really simple interior. Yep, so the same thing. It's very professional with all the information. Actually, it looks exactly the same. See, the rest of the pages are just these blank pages so the customer can fill out their blood pressure. And there's a few of these blood pressure logbooks that have pretty decent BSRs. So now we can take a look at blood sugar log. So again, not too bad competition. So this is the diabetes one. It's just a different set of keywords or keyword phrase that you can use to search for them. So some people will go onto Amazon and search for diabetes logbook. Some will just search for blood sugar log. Different keywords will bring up different results. So we've got this one here with a good BSR. It's a 2-year blood sugar level recording book. This is the one we looked at earlier. This one's going on the funny humor style of logbook. And again, some really good BSRs on these types of books. I'm not going to look into any of those ones specifically because we already looked at it when I did the diabetes keywords. So let's have a look at some caregiver logbooks and see what comes up here. So caregiver logbook. It's only got 464 results. Let's see if any of them have good BSRs. So this particular one here, not too bad. It's a bit of a high BSR. Let's just see when it was uploaded. So it was only uploaded earlier this year. So it's still sort of picking up steam. There's one in 123,966. So this niche seems to have less competition, but their BSRs are a little bit higher. So there might be a little bit less demand for it, but it just could be one of those little logbooks that sit there. Can't be hard to make them. Let's have a look inside of this one and see what it looks like. But it could be one of those books that just is easy to make and it just sits there and makes a few little sales each week or each month, and it just adds up over the year. Might not be a big seller or a bestseller, but if you end up with lots of these little books that make a little bit each month, they all add up. So you get the idea. That's how you kind of go about niche research. But like I say, in the real world, when you're doing this for yourself, you spend a lot more time. You go through and try to find a lot more keywords and a lot more sub niches to search for, and just look at the competition, see what's selling. I think those first few logbooks that we looked at, the diabetes logbooks, the blood pressure and blood sugar logbooks, they seem to do really well and they're not overly saturated. I think there's some room there to create some books that could possibly do really well, and it's not huge amounts, you know, $500 a month. It's nothing to retire over, but if you get niches like this, these little sub niches where you can create a few books and build up your income to $500 a month, and then you do that over several niches 5 niches, 10 niches, you can see how it all compounds and just builds up and builds up and builds up, and then hopefully gets you to your income goals that you're hoping to make from low content books on KDP. If you did like this video and would like to make more videos on good niches on Amazon, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. I hope this video has given you some insight into the logbook niche or the medical logbook niche, and whether or not you would like to dive in and create some books for the medical niche. And to make sure that you don't miss out on any more videos that I release, then don't forget to subscribe.